Hi, I'm Angela Flynn, and for 11 years now, I've been the Director of Liturgy and Music at Immaculate Conception. Many of you know me, but I haven't gotten to welcome most of you to our home before. So welcome! I wanted to share a reflection with you today because in our home, today is a very special day. Today is our daughter's birthday. And since she was just a little girl, I've teased her that when she made her entrance into the world, she didn't want to play favorites between the Blessed Virgin as the Immaculate Conception or the Blessed Virgin as Our Lady of Guadalupe. So she chose to be born right in between. That is obviously not how childbirth works. But this year, that's gotten me thinking about the notion of in between. It may not surprise you to know that in theology we have a special word for that time, because we have lots of special words. We refer to that time, that space, as liminal. The origin of the word is from the Latin word for threshold. And to be liminal is to stand in the doorway, not out, not in, but between. And it's that liminality that really struck me this year because I see so many thresholds. I'm watching very personally my daughter as she stands in the threshold between childhood and womanhood. She's a 20-year-old college student and still dependent on us for most of her support, but also increasingly autonomous, responsible for her own actions, her own spending money, her own calendar. Even by the ultimate teenage measure of grown, she is in a liminal state, a defined adult, able to vote, to work, to own a car, but not yet able to order a grown-up drink in a restaurant. And trust me, she's looking forward to that. I also see our year as a threshold, thanks to COVID. We hover here in the in-between. We see and even mourn what our lives were before pandemic, and we long for what our lives will be once again post-vaccine. But in this time, now, we are neither there nor there. Advent is also all about liminality, seeing the nativity scene ahead, but not quite there yet. We've left the warmth and greenness of ordinary time for a time of seeming barrenness, all brown and orange, bare trees, not yet covered by snow, no sparkle of Christmas lights. And thinking on that liminality in the context of Advent has made me aware that standing in a doorway isn't really about a choice. It's not, in the iconic words of The Clash, should I stay or should I go? It's about the fact of leaving and the inevitability of entering while still acknowledging that there's a time, maybe just a moment or a day, a season, or an entire year when we have left, but we have not yet arrived. Every year we hear about Jesus' advent into the world, into our hearts and our lives. But this year, I'd like to also contemplate our own advent into the mystery that is Christ incarnate. Our entering into relationship with that baby, with his church, and with each other. This year, like no other year before, we have been made very, very aware how church is really community. It's people. Liturgy is really about gathering together, and we miss our gatherings. We miss our community. This Advent, I want to invite you to pause in this liminal space. Look back. Look back on life, on the year, or the season of ordinary time. Reflect on everything that has brought us to today. And then, because liminality isn't just about nostalgia, about grieving what we're leaving or longing for what was, let's look ahead with hope and eager anticipation to a time when we can come together again, when we can sing together, eat together, and yes, enjoy an adult beverage together. Let's look from the doorway of Advent into the stable where a tiny baby is lying in a manger, a tiny baby who came to remind us that God loves us and there is always a future full of hope. I join you in that doorway. I celebrate where we've been. I long with you for where we'll be, but I'm also finding contentment for these few days by lingering in the in-between. Be well, my friends, and a peaceful Advent to you.